Hi, everyone. My name is Jordan Danae Ellis. I work at Adobe. I am on the Adobe Express community team. So what that means is that if you either already use Adobe Express or are interested in using Adobe Express after hanging out with me today, I am the person that answers lots of questions about it on the internet. So I am at Jordan Danae Ellis. You can absolutely feel free to send me questions after this session. That's my full-time day job, is essentially letting folks who want to use Adobe Express have all of the tools and the capabilities in their pocket, and helping folks who haven't quite figured that out with anything they may need. So that is my day job. And the reason I love Adobe Express so much is that I have been a small business owner for the past, I think, 13 years now. My Etsy anniversary is May. Yeah, and I think it's either 12 or 13 years this May. So I originally started back in 2011 selling like things that I was sewing with machine. I always say by hand. Things I was sewing, I was making like nerdy aprons. If anyone else is sewing for their Etsy shop, you absolutely understand how time consuming that is. So I switched to screen printing. My shop is Jordan Danae, and I appreciate Etsy so much for everything it taught me about business, all of the resources that I learned, like how to do inventory, how to create listings, how to do marketing. It's been a really incredible journey. So I'm really excited to be here with Etsy and Adobe. If you have questions, the Q&A is open. I'll answer them at the end, unless like it's about something I'm showing, then I will answer them as we go. So feel free to ask, and I'll answer them before we get off the call at some point. Tana makes sewn items and loves making them. Very cool. Yeah, so I am going to share my screen and hop on into Adobe Express. And yeah, like I said, please feel free to keep chatting in the chat. Please feel free to ask questions in the Q&A, and I'll show off a little bit about Adobe Express. Awesome. Here is the homepage. I know that we have done a lot of sessions with Etsy over the past, I don't even know how long. I feel like it's been a year, but time is really squishy now, so I'm not actually sure how long it's been. We have a great question already. Can we use stock images in our social media? And if we do we have to give photo credits? So I never give legal advice because I'm not a lawyer. However, I do know, which I'll show you all, that Adobe Stock is integrated in Adobe Express, and it has the same like terms and conditions as everything else. So it's available for commercial use in your Adobe Express projects, which to my knowledge is social media and marketing assets. So that is my non-legal answer. And you can check out the terms and conditions or contact our support for more info if you want that. But that's a great question off the bat, and something that I'll show. So this is the homepage of Adobe Express. I don't know if folks have seen this before. If not, welcome. If you don't know what Adobe Express is, it's essentially Adobe's solution to quick and easy designing for folks who maybe don't have a design background or don't have the time to dive into one of our professional products, which are also great. It just takes more to get started. And if you just want to start making, maybe have never designed anything before in your life, this is really great for that. There are lots of templates, which are very cool, or you can also bring in your own Photoshop or Illustrator files. So for anyone watching who is a professional designer and likes creating things in Photoshop or Illustrator, you can bring those files in and either like tweak them easily in Adobe Express, or if you want to share them with a team, like if you're working with several people, if you have an intern, if you have an assistant, if your team is larger than just you and maybe you're the designer, and every time you have like a new Instagram post promoting a new product, it is a little too time consuming to go in and like change all the info on it. This is what Adobe Express is really great for. Amanda says, Adobe products are the absolute best. Thank you so much. So quickly, the homepage at the top are the types of projects you may want to make, and then how you can make them. So these are all like starting from scratch or templates. So if I click on, for example, video, I'll see all of the video options, photo, documents, marketing. So you can really explore. I really like looking in the marketing section and just kind of going through the template ideas, because sometimes I get ideas of projects that I should make and haven't thought about yet. Like, for example, I haven't done like gift certificates in a while. So looking at this, like maybe that's something I should do to send out to some of my best customers, because I have, their address or their email address. I could do digital or print. So that is one fun feature at the top of Adobe Express. We also have like if you know exactly that you just want to make a newsletter, you can either create from scratch or browse templates. We will go into making a project. We have integrations with some other Adobe products. So we have some Adobe Firefly options here. And then below, we have quick actions, which are really one button if you just want to crop an image, not do a whole project. If you just want to take a movie that you recorded and convert it to a GIF for social, you can just click on this or click to browse, hit a button GIF. Or if you need a QR code, if you are selling at a craft fair and want to link to your Linktree or your social networks, you just click on this and then type in the link. You can stylize it in different ways. You can choose different colors. You can choose how you download it. And that's it. So there are lots of fun things too. Like some are, pretty straightforward, resize image. That's easy. You can also do some fun things like there's this animate from audio that I love. It's kind of silly, but also pretty great. You can choose any of these characters. I'm on the party emoji because that's the one I always pick. And then you can like choose different backgrounds and then you just record yourself talking. So this is a really fun way to do like super goofy Instagram stories. So there are all types of features on the homepage. And that is mostly it. At the bottom here, we also have popular templates. So, excuse me, especially for folks who don't have a design background, you may like to look at this to just see the types of like trending designs that are popping up. So I look at these all the time because I don't have a design background, which I think I said at the top. I haven't taken an art class since high school. I've learned from working at Adobe, but I am not formally trained in design at all. But all of the templates in Adobe Express are created by our Adobe designers who really pay attention to all of that. So it's cool to just scroll through and like kind of use it as your own little Pinterest. Like I am immediately onto this as a big nerd. But I'm also kind of seeing like a lot of these have really fun cutouts, like these kind of geometric backgrounds. So just to get some style inspiration there. So that's the homepage. One of my favorite things about Adobe Express is that things are pretty much called exactly what you think they'll be called. So if you hover over buttons, it kind of should tell you like what things are, if you aren't already sure. So next we'll go into your stuff. Questions about the 3-month trial in the chat. Liz is here and knows all of the information about that, so she'll be answering your questions. Going into your stuff, it's your stuff. So at the top, we have files, brands, and libraries. So files are all of my old projects. Sometimes this gets a little goofy for me because I create things for work and also for demos. So my files get a little insane sometimes. This is where your projects are. You can put them into folders to keep things nice and easy. So like these are my YouTube thumbnails. That's a nice organized folder. You can also go into brands and libraries. So libraries are if you use the rest of Creative Cloud and you create a Creative Cloud library, they all sync with Adobe Express too. So those are some of my libraries here. Like for example, I created a library of different templates that nonprofits can use for some workshops I was doing. You could create a library of like your new product launches, your like things that you need for signage, for markets and things like that. So these are all of your libraries. And we also have brands, which is super helpful for like making all of your work look consistent. So first, I'll show you how to create a brand. It's super, super easy. You just hit create a brand. I'll call this Etsy demo because I'm not actually going to do this. But just to show how easy it is, you just click to upload your logo and add it from your files. You click into colors and can either like scroll from the color options or go to custom where you like choose your own, or you can copy in hex codes or whatever type of color code you have. You can add your fonts. So you can choose from Adobe fonts or you can upload your own. We also have graphics. So especially if you like have a really great little illustrations or doodles, or I'm trying to think any type of graphic that you want to kind of repeatedly use in your projects, you can add those here. You can also add templates, which I'll show you templates. You can make your own. So many fun and cool things there. So I'll show you some preset up brands. I'll just delete that empty one. This is, for example, the brand I use for my social for Adobe. So I have very, very colorful color palette to kind of match the colorful Adobe Express colors. I have just one font that I use. I'm not a designer, so these are kind of goofy, but I just like did some little doodles in Fresco and added them here. I'm sure a lot of you could make way cuter things. And you can also add in graphics from Adobe Express. So I'll show you the design assets. You can add them just on your own, which is very cool. So this is just something in Adobe Express that I pulled in. And my favorite is that you have a preview over here so you can see like what all of your colors look like together, what your little graphics and your logo look like together. You can also invite other people. So again, if you have a team or you work with other folks, that is a great way to do that. So this is my little brand, but I'll show a couple more. We created a fake bakery, but this is like a very, very extensive brand. So we have a couple different versions of logos, a couple different versions of, well, a couple different logos with color variations, tons of colors, several fonts, and then all of these graphics that were created in Illustrator, plus some stock images, plus some, I think, 3D graphics, like so many different things brought in, that these are all custom, and then some saved templates down here. And then this is my Etsy brand. I have my logos here, so you can see what they look like over here. I have some colors. I have fonts. I just pulled in some graphics from Adobe Express. I make a lot of like collage type things. So I have these here. And then I have some templates that I can choose from, which is really great. So that is the brand kit. There are a few questions. Yeah, so S&T, I think is this username. They're asking about text arch tools. So we just launched a new version of Adobe Express last week, and those are coming back. They didn't make it into this new version, but we're working on getting them into here now. So the reason you can't find it is because they're not currently here, but they are coming back hopefully soon. When I have an answer to that, I will definitely post about it on my socials. And also I'll post about it in our Adobe Express groups. If any of you are interested in more, feel free to join our Facebook or Discord. Question about if you already have a paid membership, can you get the free trial? I am not sure if it's only for new users, but if not, it probably adds to the end of yours, but I'll go ahead and let Liz answer that in the chat because I don't know like the specific details of this membership. And Tammy is asking, what are the differences between the free Adobe Express and premium? That's a great question. So you can use Adobe Express for free, and there are features that are premium that have like a crown on them. So for example, if I want to, let's look for new product. Let's see if that gives us something. Okay, so if I am looking for like templates to show off my new product, The templates here with this little crown icon are premium, and it's the same thing for all the features in Adobe Express. So if there are like graphics, excuse me, stock images, things like that that have this crown, those are for premium access. That is the main difference. Julie is asking premium features are available if you have the full Adobe membership. If you have the full Creative Cloud, you can log in just up here with your Adobe ID ever you use the full Creative Cloud, and that yeah, you have the premium version of Adobe Express included. Cheryl's asking, are there metallic gold fonts? There aren't any fonts. Sorry, the fonts are not colorized. So if you're asking if you can do like a metallic gold, what would it even be called? Can you, do lettering that's metallic gold? There are a couple different ways you could kind of do like a masking thing with gold, or you could use the text effects to do golds. But I think those are probably the only ways that you could do that. If you don't mind asking a little more like what you're trying to make, I might be able to help. So feel free to drop more questions too. Oh yeah, effects. Thank you, Nikki. Effects can do that. So this is how you like search for templates. I'm looking for a new product. I could also maybe look for like fashion because that's the kind of thing I do. So you can see different templates and kind of deciding what you want. So if I wanted to make a template that is showing off, my new collection, there are so many different options here. And you can do static posts like just for Instagram. You can do videos. So I'm going to come back to that. And actually, first, I want to show how to create a project for like a listing. So Etsy users absolutely, or Etsy shop owners need listing photos. That's a huge part of it. And when I started my Etsy shop in 2011, I knew how to do like one thing in Photoshop. It was kind of removing the background to make it look like I could have all of my backgrounds of all of my product photos cohesive. It was really tricky and took me forever. So I'm super thankful for things like Adobe Express being available now. And I wish that it had been available 11 years ago or 12 years ago, whatever that was. But I wanted to show a couple fast ways to do this. So I want to start from photos that I've already taken. So I am going to click into start from your content. In my downloads, I have photos from like a photo shoot I did with a friend last year. So I have this little like piratey sweatshirt that's embroidered. I'm going to hit create new. And then you can either choose from one of our predetermined sizes. So if you knew this, you wanted this to be like an Instagram story, you could pick that, or an Instagram square. You can do custom sizes. I'm going to go ahead and use the original aspect ratio here, but depending on exactly what type of listing you want, I don't remember the exact ratio. I actually think it is horizontal instead. So I'm going to go ahead and do something closer to, let's do like, I'll just switch these. I'll do, you know what, whatever. I'll leave it. You can do this whatever you want. It can be a square, it can be vertical, it can be horizontal, however you want to set yours up. And so I'm going to go ahead and drag this photo out all the way to the edges. And what I want to do, I could keep this like this. I like this background. I want somewhere beautiful in Seattle. But if I want to keep my shop cohesive, I could also remove the background so that all the listings in my shop look the same. So I can click on this photo, and there's just this nice and easy remove background button right here. Like I said, this is one of the things that took me hours and hours and hours in Photoshop. One, because I barely knew what I was doing, but I love how simple this is. And even like This is my friend Emily as the model. She has super curly hair. It even got that because that was one of the things that like I really didn't do very well when I was manually removing the background. So now I have her here. And I can brand this listing page to look like whatever I want it to look like. So I can kind of have her be like zoomed in as much or as little as I want. I think something like this would be good. I can click on the background color. I can leave it white. If I want the background to be like transparent, which you wouldn't want for a listing, but just to show you that that's there. And then I can also go into my brand colors here. So if I, for example, want all of the photos in my shop to be like a combination of one of these, I can kind of just like choose and cycle between. Or if I want them all to be kind of neutral, I can go with like this gray color in my brand. Becky says, the fact that it keeps the hair wispies is so cool. Yes. Jonathan is saying that using the remove background tool appears like the photo quality gets blurry. It shouldn't. That might be something worth talking to our tech support about. They might have a trick for you because it really shouldn't diminish the photo quality at all. So this is one way if you wanted to do like just a kind of really simple background. You can also go into elements and different backgrounds. So for example, if you wanted to do something maybe a little more wild, I could add a background like one of these, which is really fun. Or I can get rid of that and go into our design assets. If I wanted to do something maybe a little more subtle, like I can go into overlays here. Can you keep the background and remove the image? Like do the reverse of what I did? I think that would have to be manual, Rhonda. I don't think we have an invert button that I know of. So say I wanted to add maybe something like one of these like halftone options or one of these like little grids. Um, add that, or I could also hit, um, sorry, this new version came out and I'm still finding all the buttons that I used to know. So this is like a grid in black and white. I can go into effects and I can change like the colors. I can colorize it, which is hard to see because this is so light, and I can drag it to the back so that it is behind my friend Emily here. Or I can also go from the project into your stuff. So in my brand, I set up a background that I like. So if I go into Jordan Today or like I added a graphic here, I could pull in this similar thing kind of grid. And when it loads, I can drag it out here. Same thing. I would want to pull it behind Emily. I can like reverse the direction if I want. And then I can also change the colors. So if this green is a little much and I actually want it to be maybe the blue from my brand kit, I can do that here. Oops. I think that's funny. It like took out, oh, I see what I did. I was doing the whole background, sorry. But the thing that is great is that now, like say I want this to be my listing photo for all of these, I can go up here to pages. I can duplicate this page. So I have 2 here. And then if I click on this photo of Emily, I can actually go ahead and replace this with a secondary image. So I can upload it from my device, go down here to, I think this is the second one. Yeah. And it'll do all the same things. So it should be thinking, yep, it's thinking, remove the background again. It's not quite perfect. So I can click on it, go to crop and like pull this out so that she isn't cut off. If it's not quite perfect, I can adjust it. So now I have 2 listing photos right here. I can go back in, add more and more. So that is one way to set up listing photos in Adobe Express, and you can just create a new project for all of your listings. I'm going to stop and answer a couple more questions. Can we put our photo on the image? You mean like upload your own? Yeah, I just did that. I just uploaded my own. You can just pull them in from your desktop. Is there a desktop app that I'm missing, or is Adobe Express just a web version? It's just a web version. It's just express.adobe.com, and there's nothing to download. Becky's recommending looking at adjustments and sharpness if your photos aren't sharp enough, or you can also look at the size of your photos. Maybe you can upload one with a higher resolution. And oh, Liz says there is an invert tool. That's super great. Is there a way to add drop shadows? I don't believe so, but I will show. So I don't think there are drop shadows, but I will show something that there is, a little trick. So for example, this is like my cutout here. I can duplicate this layer. The layers are over here. I think I showed that. You can like decide what order they go in. If I duplicate my dear friend Emily, now I have two. I can go into effects. I could make this layer like maybe black, or I could also do maybe blue. I'll do the gray in my brand kit. So now I have this like kind of shadow version of her. I can drag that behind. I can make it a little bigger than her so it like stands out. And then if I go into adjustments and scroll down, there's a blur option. So if I want to like make there be kind of a blurry like shadow that I can adjust wherever. So that isn't the same as drop shadow, but that's a little bit of a workaround that I wanted to share with whoever asked, whose name I can't find now. I'm very sorry. Tabitha asked, are you able to do product mockups? We don't have a mockup like feature in Adobe Express yet. It would only be if you were kind of like just adding something onto something, but we don't have like a full mockup feature. We do, a brand new one just came to Illustrator. So that is something that is super exciting. We don't have that in Adobe Express yet though. Cool. Okay. Mary Beth says this program was awesome. Kim says that's actually very helpful. Great. Okay. So that is how to do a product listing. We have that. I'm also going to show, I'm going to go ahead and go into your stuff, into brands, into my brand, and pull from this template to show how to create from a template. This is just one that I found this morning when I was scrolling through Adobe Express because I haven't set up like brand templates yet. But if there are the kinds of things you want to use all the time, then you can create a template and then just like pop in and use it. But I wanted to show, for example, if I want to take something like this to kind of say like new product, or we can say maybe coming, what's today, August 22nd. So we can say like 8/30/23. So it's like a new product that's coming. So you can just click into the text and change it. For Be Creative, you can click into all these different lines. So if I wanted to say maybe new product, I'm going to make that a little smaller so that it fits in one line. And then I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this. Cool. Oops. To have all of these lines be different. But you can, type in whatever you want. It can be your brand name. It can be the name of the product you have. This is like what's so great about templates. It's just, oops, very nice. Anytime you type, it's really great to type live. So you can change something like that really easily. And then if I want to change out this photo, I just click on the photo, hit this replace button right here. And if I forget that's what it's called, if I leave my mouse over it, it will say replace. So I hit replace. I can upload from device, We had a question about stock photos earlier. This is the library of Adobe stock photos you could use instead, or if you wanted to use it for like the background. So I could replace with a stock photo. If it has this little crown here, same, that's premium, but if not, it's free. So like I could replace this photo with this stock photo, but I actually want to use one of my own listings or my own products. So I will go ahead and replace it with my own photo. There we go. If that's not quite right, I can double click on it and then kind of like move it around or zoom in, whatever I want. Sabrina says, I love how much time you can save using templates. Me too. This is such a game changer for me. So then I can also click on this and change everything to my brand colors. So this is actually eerily close to my brand color, unless I did that already. But maybe I'll change it to that. And then you can just like, yeah, change whatever you want. So we can say maybe fall collection and then your own website. You can also change the fonts here. So I'm going to keep this what's in this template because I like it, but my brand fonts are going to be here saved at the top, which is cool. So if I want to change like maybe just this bottom one, I can do that. And then this background is a little bit complicated, which is fine. So I can go in and change all of these individual shapes, which is really cool and cute. I can change the background color to one of my background colors here. And if I don't want to go through and change all of these shapes manually, which I would, except I want to save you all from watching me do that, I can just go into elements over here, into backgrounds, and maybe find something that is fun. Um, and if I want it to not be in the background, I can detach it from the page background and drag it. Oops. I can drag it like in between the layers so that it is on top of this, and drag these to the back if I don't want them to be in the way. That's still a little chaotic. I'm going to find one that is less busy. So I'm going to go back into, click back on this, hit replace. Maybe we'll do one of these stock photos here. Is this? There we go. That's like easier to look at. And then I can still edit this to make it on brand. So I can go ahead and hit effects and change it to maybe this yellow and this green, or maybe make this. There we go. Yeah, cool. That feels great. Okay, cool. So now I have this like kind of flyer. I can change anything else I want. I can change the colors of all of these, but I can do two really cool things from here. I can go ahead um and oh, I also wanted to show too, you can lock things. So for example, if I didn't want this image to move around at all, which it thankfully didn't, but I can hit this little lock and now it won't. So if you're working on stuff and you're like, okay, I know that I want maybe all of this to not move, I can just lock it and then I can unlock it if I need to. So that's really helpful. So I can go up to download and just download these PNG, JPEG, PDF, but I can also hit resize. So if I know that I want this to be a flyer and a poster and a LinkedIn post and a Facebook post and a Pinterest idea pin and a Facebook ad and a YouTube thumbnail, no, and Instagram square. I can choose as many as I want. There are so many things here. I just hit duplicate and resize and it will resize to everything. Sometimes it's not perfect. So here it didn't pull the background all the way out. So I can just drag it out. And I think there was one more. Yeah, that just like didn't quite. get it perfectly, but you can also click into any of them and adjust. So if I was like, oh, cool, for this one, I actually want, the Instagram story to say something else or something like that. I can do all of that. So now I have like 8 different versions of this that were super fast. And the last thing that I wanted to show instead of downloading it is, say I want to take this square and schedule it directly to social media. I can go up to share, to schedule post. And right now, Adobe Express connects with your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. I just connected these. If you've used a social media scheduler, it's the same process, like log in, give it permission. You can click on the ones you want. So I want this to go on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, but I would add a different one to Pinterest. So I would go back and add like the vertical image to Pinterest. I can choose when I want this to go out. So maybe tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. I can add a caption. So I could say like, our fall collection is coming soon. Don't miss out. And add a little emoji, which I love doing. My other favorite thing is you can preview it so I can see what it looks like on all of the different platforms in case different things are cut off, or especially if I was using like a carousel post, I could see what it looks like on the different platforms. Don't hit the X, hit this back button. I think that's something we're fixing. It's just it'll delete or it'll get out of your project. So hit the back button. And then if I hit schedule, it'll schedule it and open my calendar. So then we'll see what it looks like. I think it'll open my calendar. Maybe I have to go to it. Okay. I'll go to my calendar and show you. Now I have everything that I just scheduled right here. So I can see the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, if I want to move them around so they don't all come out on the same day. If I want to move like other posts out of the way, you can see, your whole content calendar right here. And then if I wanted to also go ahead and schedule the Pinterest size for Pinterest, I can go back into here and go into this. There we go. And then I can share this one to Pinterest and add the same caption. I can choose all of my boards. I guess I have disconnected from Pinterest, so I'm not going to make you watch me log in. Questions that we have are, great question, Nikki. Can you use this for different brands? That is coming. It's like the top requested thing. I also want it because I run like 4 different social channels. So right now you can only log into one profile per platform, but that feature is coming. I'm very good friends with the person working on that at Adobe, and it is coming. Are you able to schedule a post for Instagram without having Facebook? That's based on like the Meta rules. So I believe that to have a business Instagram, you also need to have a Facebook, but I am not fully up on all of the details of social, but I do think so, Crystal. Sabrina says that's perfect for scheduling the upcoming Labor Day sale. Yes. Yeah, so Becky, great question about Adobe stock. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but in the terms and conditions, I am pretty sure that everything in Adobe Express is available for commercial use. So, to the best of my knowledge, you can use the stock photos the same way you can use the other assets. Yeah, so Amy, the apply brand question is great. There was a button in the older version of Adobe Express that you could like apply your brand to a project. I think they're updating it because it didn't work perfectly before. And so, to the best of my knowledge, it's not out in this version because they were trying to make it better. And I think that's why it's not available yet. 2 more things I want to show is how to create video in Adobe Express. That is new, and also add animation. Yes, Bobby or Bobby B, you can add links to your posts when you're scheduling to social media. And it also does, I forget what this is called, the link preview, I think. So if you add a link, you can see what it will look like. You can see the link preview, and if you preview it like I just showed, you can see what that will look like. So yes, you can add links to your posts for sure. I will show that you can also turn something flat like this into an animated project, and then I'll also show how to create a video project. So for example, I can click on anything and animate it. What I might do for that is actually, let's see if this looks wild. Okay, this I think will be more fun. This is you can click on literally anything and animate it. And so now that there are more things to click on, I think this will be more fun. And just for my own sake, I'm going to turn this black and white because the colors, the blue and red, are really not working for me right now. This feels better. So Becky asked how long the videos can be. I don't think, to the best of my knowledge at this moment, there isn't a video cutoff, but I will be honest that like very long videos, it's not ideal for that. So like I talked to someone yesterday who had a video that was like an hour long and it was taking forever to download because this is really optimized for like TikTok, Instagram. So you can, like, I don't think there's a technical limit, but I don't necessarily recommend doing super long videos, at least at this moment. Yeah. Uh, question Ratty Rai. I'm gonna show how to animate this right now. So yes, great question. So like this is a cute, Instagram post, or I could also choose something that I could also like resize this to make sure that it is Instagram story dimensions, but you can literally click on anything separately and animate it. So if I want to click on the photo, for example, I just go down to animations down here and I can have, like, if I want the photo, some of them are really wild. If I want the photo to like pop in like that actually feel, or fade in. Let's have it grow in like that. So I'll have the photo grow in. I can decide how long that will take. So it can be slow or pretty fast, which I think I want. So I'll do like a minute and a half. And then I can choose if it's like pops in or if it's more smooth. So I could also have this loop, but I'll click on something else for loop. So like if I want, for example, maybe this line here, I'll go into animation. I can have this. Yeah, that's cute. Do a little wiggle. Maybe I'll do the same thing for these. Have those wiggle. And then there's this like breathe option that I really like. So maybe for the pink ones, I'll do this breathe. So they're just kind of like trippy. You can choose how fast or slow it is. I'm going to leave them all the same. And then you can also have it loop out. So let's see. Let me click on, make it to this one. I'll have all of those do the same. Okay, I think I got all of those. And then maybe we could have this fade out, I think. Oh no, it's a bunch of different lines. Let's have this fade out. So if I go into this text bar, I can hit animation again and have it fade out. Okay. So now we have, clicking back into this, we have our little timeline down here. If I click edit timeline, I could like make the whole thing shorter or longer. I could then add a different scene if I want. And I can see the timing of each layer. So if I want, like right now, everything is happening all at once. But if I wanted this fade in to not happen until, a couple seconds in, I can just move it and then it'll fade in a little bit later. So you can really go wild with this. It's also really nice. Animating is not super easy. So even if you custom create something, then you can just click on all the animations, which is fun. And I'll do one last video thing. Please feel free to keep asking your questions. Make sure I have. Oh, is sound coming? Yeah, we already have sound. I'm not sure how exactly that will demo. But let me show you. I'm going to go back into my brands and just use a video template that I found, but you can also just search like TikTok, Instagram story, video templates. You can see a ton. There are horizontal, vertical, you can resize them. It's super great. So this is a video, like I really, really like using video templates because I don't always have good ideas for video. So I really like that the template just kind of like lets me pop something in. Yeah, there is a replay of this. So if you missed anything, the replay will be sent out. So this is a template. I haven't touched it at all. And I like how it kind of has all of the pieces I need already picked out, but it's not quite what I need. So I'm going to go ahead and actually, these are not on brand for me. I'm going to go ahead and delete these little graphics. They're super cute, but that just doesn't really fit my brand. I can click on anything and change it though. So I like what all of this says, pop-up shop. I could change the time and date. I don't have a real pop-up shop, so I'm not going to do that. We can make this say fall. So yeah, you can just go in and change anything. And then I want to replace this image with, I'll use the same one I started with for my listings because this is the new thing that I want to show off. And you can see it replaced the image, but then also automatically removed the background and gave me the same like color effects on here, which is really convenient too. So like you don't have to go through and remove the background every time, change the color to the same every time. It just does that for you. Is there anything else I want to change? I mean, I could change the way things animate, for example. So I could, instead of having it pop in, I could delete that and have it drop in or anything, make it take longer, change the direction. Any of that is very fun. Maybe I'll have it pop in from that way. And then let's see. So this is interesting. So this actually isn't a video playing in the background. This is an image that is just spinning, which is cool. Oh, no. I'm lying. This is a video. Sorry. This is a video, I think. Now I'm actually, no, okay. This is an image and the layer on top of it is spinning. That's what it is. Okay. So that is one way to make something look like a video, but you can actually add video to the background too. So this is where I think Adobe Stock really shines. I can go into media, I can go into video, and then there are like tons of things. I like this abstract section. So for example, like this is pretty cool. I can bring something like this in as a video, drag it out, or I can just hit this fill button and I can do the same effects. So I can do adjustments or this duotone, which is my favorite. So I can have this be from the recommended color palette here. Let's see if this might be too close in color. And I can drag this video behind everything. No, that totally still works. So it's covering, I mean, I could just delete the background that we have here. And so I can also, yeah, perfect. So now we have a video playing in the background, my static image here, things still animating on top of each other. As you can see, if you want to edit the timeline, same way, you can click on anything individually and edit that here, which is the great thing about templates. That's all kind of layered for you. And just to show, the resize works the same way with video. So this is like an Instagram story, but if I want it to also be a square, I can hit duplicate and resize, and I have to drag this out to the edges because it didn't fill. but now I have a square video. And that was super fast. I didn't really have to like do anything. So now I have a story, I have a square. I can download these as an MP4 and choose the resolution size. I can upload these to social media. I can do whatever I want. Oh, and one last thing, you can also add another scene if you wanted. So if I wanted to like, I can either add a new scene or I could also duplicate this and, for example, maybe swap out this image. Um, so I can just go ahead and do replace and add like a different listing if I want, or a different picture. There we go. This is a nice way to show off a bunch of different things. So I have two different options here. I can delete some of the animations or like change, whatever I want. Like maybe I don't want all these in the same place. I can add transitions. And if you want to um, add sound, you can go into media and there's audio up here. So you can add morning breeze, happy family loop, lo-fi study. So these are Adobe Express stock audio is what I was trying to say. But you can also upload your own if you want to record a voiceover. I did this for my most recent Instagram story. It's super easy. It works like you would expect. You just hit record voiceover. When you hit start recording, it will just start from where you are. So if I wanted to talk over this and explain what the sale is or anything like that, you can do that. And then I know you can just create a video. And that is everything I had to show of how to create listings, static, like just image marketing graphics, and also video marketing tools. So if there's anything else you would like to see, yeah, Becky, I think you asked the question before I did it, but yeah, you can resize video like I just did. In case you missed it, I can do that one more time. I can go in here. So this is a square. And if I want to resize this to like a YouTube size, here we go. I could do a YouTube short and also YouTube video. Just hit duplicate and resize, and then they're here. So in some of the cases, you have to still like adjust the background video a little bit. So I have to go in and still pull this out so that it's perfectly sized, and you might need to like adjust a little bit. But yeah, now I have duplicated or resized and have 5 different video sizes that fast. Any other questions? Yeah, there are tons of fun things to play with, Sabrina. There are like lots of things on the homepage that are brand new and really cool. And like I said, this version of Adobe Express just came out not even a week ago. So I'm still learning and there's lots to learn. We're still adjusting and fixing things. But if you have any questions, I am at Jordan Danae Ellis on everything. So Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. Feel free to DM me. Feel free to ask me questions. Mary Beth says lots to learn. I'm still learning too. Oh, Cam, thank you. Thanks for all the compliments, folks. That's super kind. Yeah, I don't see any more questions. Ping me or ask again if I missed one. Because I'm happy to still answer. Lisa asked, I changed my brand colors, but my logo colors are still the old colors. Do I need to create a new logo? Uh, if you have the logo file, you should be able to just change those colors and then re-upload them. So yeah, if you change your brand colors, you will have to edit the file of your logo to change that. Yeah, Rhonda, I think in the chat, the info about the 3-month trial. Fabiano just posted that. So if you have any questions about that, the link is right here in the chat. I am so glad you all learned a lot. Yeah, like I said, feel free to DM me or you can find my info, I'm sure, from this recording. So absolutely feel free to ask me or anyone else on the Adobe Express team. We're super happy to help. I'm so glad you learned a lot. Thank you all so much for coming. If that's the last question, I think that's it. Have a great Tuesday, everyone. I hope this helps you get your work done faster than ever because we all have lots of things to do, and not spending extra time creating the content that we need just helps us. Wait, I'm going to go back to okay. One last question is, where can you find the recording and the past class recordings? I believe that they would be in your email when you registered for this and RSVP'd. You should get the recording for that. So I think you would only have the replays for the sessions that you RSVP'd for. But yeah, this should be coming to your inbox. And yes, just drop the link of the session page again so you can get the links there. And I was incorrect. You can find all the past Adobe sessions by clicking the link in the chat that Etsy just dropped. So thank you again all so much. Have a great week. And hopefully I'll see you around on the internet. Thanks.